you wake up one morning and think to yourself, my goodness, I don't like this business that I've built for myself. Something has got to change. Maybe it wasn't quite that dramatic, but most entrepreneurs that I have worked with at some point in this brand building journey, they come to a realization that something's got to change. Either they need to shift up their business model, they want to change who they're working with, or they simply want to go in an entirely new direction. All of this is completely natural, but you need to be extremely strategic about how you pivot or reposition your brand so that you can get the quickest results possible and do the least amount of harm to your existing business and brand. Welcome, my name is Kaye Putnam. I'm the psychology-driven brand strategist. I help entrepreneurs get their genius out of their brain so that they can serve and impact the world in the way that they're meant to, and they want to serve and impact the world. Let's talk about how to pivot and or reposition your brand. Oftentimes, the natural inclination or temptation is to simply blow everything up and to start from scratch. But it doesn't have to be that dramatic. You can preserve some of the brand equity that you've built, or at the very least, you can acknowledge that you're not ever starting from zero. You're always starting from this story, this experience that you've created up to this point in your life. So it does make sense to figure out what you want to keep and what, if anything, you need to blow up and get rid of. So the first step to pivot or reposition your brand is to establish the new vision. You have to know where you're going. You can't just have the awareness of this isn't working. Like, actually sit down and have the reflection of what isn't working. Do I have control over whatever I think needs to change? Or maybe it's something that I need to release or to delegate or to shift in some other way. If you have the awareness, if you have the inspiration, if you have the vision for something new and you're not happy with how you're doing things now, that vision is meant for you. You are meant to do that. It just takes the courage and the work to shift what you're doing. So establish that new vision. Who do you want to be? What kind of work do you want to be doing? What does your perfect day look like? Who are you serving? What is it going to take to get there? Are there pieces of your current business or brand that you do want to keep? What is actually working well? What is magical about your current clients or customers? What equity or assets have you built up that you want to keep in the way that you're moving forward? The second step, almost everybody skips, and it causes a lot of trouble and disruption if you skip it. And it is to literally grieve the loss of identity, the old you that you're letting go of. And this might look different for everybody that's watching this video, but figure out how you're going to release who you used to be. Because if your whole identity and world has been tied up in the way that you have been doing things up to this point, like a lot of people, there's a process of letting go. So maybe you're going to write a letter to your old self and, I don't know, either tear it up or light it on fire or honor it in some way. Maybe you're going to have a bonfire and throw away all of the old, I don't know, planners that are filled up with old you's ideas and thoughts and plans. Whatever that means to you, make sure you give yourself some space and some breathing room to not only embrace what's coming, but to release what you're letting go of. And then from there, the fun part starts. We start to actually bring this new vision to life. And for anybody that's been in business for any length of time, the way that I recommend doing this is to simply draw an imaginary line in the sand. So everything that you create, everything that you put out into the world after this point, this line in the sand, is going to be in alignment with the new vision and the new identity that you're creating for yourself, this new brand. And acknowledge that there is going to be this transition phase between what people know you for and who you're becoming. There is going to be that time lag between old you and new you. And often this line in the sand, it has to be a line that's a little bit in the future, because we need some time to like redo our website or to bulk create a bunch of this new content or this new direction, the assets behind the scenes that are going to fuel this reposition in the market. So we need to take a look at all of the places where our brand is showing up and do the work behind the scenes to reimagine what that's going to look like in the future. And then we have this launch day, or this line in the sand, and we acknowledge that maybe everything isn't going to be perfect. So the things that we created in the past may be in alignment with that old identity, but everything that we create moving forward is the new identity. And then we want to plan on having a content blitz where we are effectively re-indoctrinating people into our brand or how to think about us, what we want to be known for. Again, we have this time lag, so we want to be very intentional about putting out a blitz of content across all of the different places that our brand shows up to educate people into what we now stand for. So this might look like pursuing press opportunities. You might be sharing a lot of new content on social media that is in alignment with your new vision. You might be sending out a series of emails to your existing email list to invite the people that want to come along on the new journey, and also inviting people who aren't in alignment with your new vision to release you or to fall off, to unsubscribe, and to find somebody that better fits what they desire. During this content blitz, we always want to be acknowledging where we've come from and where we're going. So especially if you've done something like a brand name change, this is the time period where you're still going to want to have on it like formerly known as or formerly old brand name here, so that people recognize who you are and that they also recognize that you're making this transition. And then finally, during this time lag, this content blitz, and there's no perfect answer about how long this takes, but I would plan for at least a month of reintroducing your brand to the world with this new vision. During that time, you get to make the decision and should make the decision about what you're going to do about old clients, old students, old products. Are you going to maintain the status quo in the background? So maybe you have some retainer clients you've had forever. They're a good source of revenue for you. And you're going to continue working with them in the background, even though everything forward facing in your brand is focused on this new direction. But until either like the sales of your new products or services pick up, you might make the decision to let things happen in the background that are still your old brand or your old self. And that's okay, because again, the market is going to have this time lag where they're getting to know the new brand, getting to know, like, and trust you all over again with whatever that shift is that you made. And it's okay to continue to take revenue or to take projects in the background, so long as everything forward facing is focused on your new direction. And then at some point, you're going to want to release all of that old work or that old activity or those old clients or old students if they're no longer in alignment with where you're moving forward. So just be proactive and let them know when that cutoff point is, when you're either ending that contract or stopping the sale or the support of a specific product. Just be proactive and take care of the people that have gotten you to where you've gotten so far. Many of them will be really excited about your transition, but then naturally some of them won't be, and that's okay and part of the rebranding, repositioning process. All of this is completely possible. I've had a very highly successful client do this 3 or 4 times with his brand, and I'm excited to see how you pivot and reposition your brand. It is so much more important for you to be lit up and excited about the work that you're doing in the world than to hang on to old revenue or old ways of doing things just because it feels hard to change. It does take effort, but everything after that transition point gets to be that much more exciting and life-giving as you move forward. So follow those nudges. Give yourself permission to evolve. We all grow and change as humans. It is completely natural that your brand does as well. Let me know, what challenges or questions are you running into as you pivot or reposition your brand? I would love to know in the comments how I can support you either in future videos or just by directly answering your question. If you found this helpful, give me a thumbs up. It is incredibly beneficial. It fuels the YouTube algorithm, helps more entrepreneurs like you find these videos. And it's just the best thank you as a content creator that you can give me. So thank you in advance. I am so excited for your future, for your growth. I'll see you in a future video.